Sure, I'm Staci Berger. I'm the Executive Director of the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. We're the statewide association of nonprofit community developers and other folks investing in our state's communities.
Great. You testified today before the Joint Environmental Committees in Trenton on the recovery efforts after Superstorm Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to ask you just one particular question. You talked about the plight of renters,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly in the wake of Sandy. Tell us what the problem is there, would you?
Well, unfortunately for renters, we had a very tough rental market even before the storm hit, especially in Monmouth and Ocean counties. There were very low vacancy rates and very high rents. So Sandy has exacerbated that situation and made it much worse, not only in those counties, but in the surrounding areas where folks have gone to look for homes. We have more folks now on the rental market than ever before because people are renting while they're waiting for their homes to be rebuilt. And while the REM program takes forever to get money out the door, those folks are then taking homes that other folks might be able to rent if the market were not quite so tight. So it's not that anybody's at fault for renting, it's just there's not enough rental homes. And so one of the reasons that we were looking forward to the action plan and the state's involvement in rebuilding from Sandy was that it gave us an opportunity to create more rental homes for lower income and working families. Unfortunately, that program has not really gotten off the ground yet either. We didn't get a chance to go into great detail about that, but what we did talk about this morning was that renters don't have access to the same counseling services that homeowners do, which is a problem and is really unfair. Counseling for making decisions about how you're going to determine the rest of your life are pretty important decisions, and we thought that it would be really important for everybody to have access to those resources.
So you're saying that folks who are renters are even in more of a quandary because they don't know who to go to or how to fill out the forms or where to find them.
They don't have anybody who's specifically dedicated and resourced to help them. Unlike the REM program where you call the phone number and you get somebody who's gotten evidently 2 hours of training, there's nobody for folks who are looking for renting assistance to go to. They kind of have to figure it out on their own, and that's too bad.
Is there a solution to that? What would you recommend?
Well, we had suggested originally that the state utilize the existing nonprofit network of HUD-certified counselors, of home counselors who have been working in communities around the state for 2 decades to make sure that people knew what their housing choices were.
Organizations like yours.
Organizations like the ones we represent, but also other ones. And they could train additional staff if they needed to. And they chose not to do that, and then I guess they hired this other company that was reported on by the Wall Street Journal last week that has hired staff people and given them very minimal training, and so unfortunately those folks are frustrated and they're getting yelled at by the people who've been through this process for 11 months. So there's not anybody at the counseling level who can help people figure out what their choices are and make good decisions.
You see any way out of this?
Well, there's another action plan that we're going to have to draft and put together, so it seems like we would need to really look at that as a potential solution to put funding where we know people can do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.